Let's be honest. Sometimes it feels like we're praying, hoping, waiting, and God just isn't saying anything. You read the Bible, you go to church, you talk to God, and all you hear is silence. And that silence, it can feel so loud. If you've ever been there, I want to remind you today. When God feels silent, He's still at work. We've all been through it. You're going through something hard, and it feels like God just disappeared. But here's the thing. Silence is not absence. Just because you don't hear God, it doesn't mean He isn't close. Think about it like this. When a teacher gives a test, it's silent, but that doesn't mean they are gone. It just means it's your time to trust what you've learned. And in those quiet seasons, when you're not hearing much from God, it's often when He's growing your faith the most. Let's look at the Bible, because even the most faithful people experienced silence. Joseph, he was thrown in a pit by his brothers, sold as a slave, and even put in prison for what he didn't do. God was silent for years, but the whole time, God was setting Joseph up to save a nation. Job lost everything. His family, his health, his peace. And for a long time, God said nothing. But when He did speak, He reminded Job of how powerful and how strong he really was. Jesus, even Jesus, while He was on the cross, He said, my God, why have you forsaken me?" If Jesus Himself felt that silence, we can all be honest that we have felt it too. But we also know the end of that story. God was doing something so much bigger behind the scenes. So why does God allow silence? Sometimes He's teaching us to trust and not just rely on our feelings. Sometimes He's preparing us for something we cannot see yet. And sometimes He's growing something in us. Patience, faith, strength. You don't have to feel God to know that He's near. His presence isn't based on your emotions. It's based on His promise. His promise is in Hebrews 13 verse 5. It says, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." Here are 3 things you can do when you're not hearing from God. 1. Keep praying. Even when it still feels one-sided, don't stop. 2. Go back to what you do know. What has God already told you in His word? 3. Worship anyways. Even in silence, worship reminds you of who He is. Faith isn't always about hearing God. Sometimes it's just about trusting that He's still there. So if you're walking through a quiet season, if God feels silent, if you feel forgotten or alone, this is your reminder. God is not gone. He is not ignoring you. He's near. He's working. And He's writing a story that you can't see yet. Don't give up. Don't walk away just because it's silent. And remember, silence doesn't mean God is finished with you. It might mean He's just getting started.